This is what happens when you don't have a script.
Same spark, same speakeasy.
Great.
You're
Oh,
right.
so was I right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. This can be the intro. Hi,
No.
Cassandra.
Hi, Ewan.
How are
Happy
you?
Friday. I'm
Happy
great. How are
Friday. I know
you?
we're recording this on a Friday, everybody, because we do record them on a Friday, every Friday. You probably won't see it until the weekend, but I hope you're having a good weekend out there, everyone. How are you,
Yes,
Cassandra?
it's great. It's the Memorial Day weekend here in the US, which for
It
many people means a
is.
long weekend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It sure
Mm-hmm.
does. Not for us
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, though. But yes, enjoy
I,
that, all you
you
corporate
read my mind.
lifers. What is a holiday?
Uh, what's a weekend? I don't know.
What's a weekend is definitely the question to ask. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Well, I hope you all enjoy your long weekend out there, Memorial Day, memorializing all the memorials and stuff.
Well
Um,
said.
yeah, I'm British. I just go along with all the vacations that you give me here in the United States, and I really appreciate each and every one of them. So thanks for that.
But do you take them?
Um, Moving on.
Yeah. What a hard worker.
That
Yay.
is it. Is it? See, I used to say this when I was working in hotels and stuff. That those people that were constantly saying that they were so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, and I would always say that feels like a you problem, not a me problem. Stop telling me. And now, as a business owner, I'm like, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, and I actually feel it. Like that's
Yeah,
like it's reality. Like it isn't an organization problem. It's just that there are genuinely not enough hours in the day. But I wouldn't
it's
have it any other way,
true.
right?
You are so busy. You're always moving, you're always grooving, you're always making things
Yeah.
happen for your clients and your team.
This is
I don't
sweet. I
know how
really
you
wasn't
do
fishing for
it.
compliments, but thank you.
Oh,
Is
you're welcome.
yeah, but it's definitely something that you have to work on, though, right? I really, really struggle with that. Anyway, we could do a whole episode on this, but it is definitely
Mm,
something, that balance thing. It's like
mm.
always in the front of my mind. Any business owners out there, entrepreneurs out there that have mastered this, and not just like mastered it in a LinkedIn bullshit sort of way, like where you're like, oh my God, I make $30,000 in an hour.
Yeah.
Off,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Insert expletive here. No, you don't. You
No, you
don't do
don't.
it. Stop
Uh-uh.
telling yourself that you do. Anyway,
Stop
anyone who
lying to the
genuinely
world.
has mastered the art of balance, then please feel free to share that skill with me. I'd love to hear more.
I
And
know.
Cassandra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, shall we
Okay.
talk about what we're doing in this episode after that little
Let's
therapy moment from Ewan? I'm really sorry, everybody. I am
let's
in a
let's
really good
let's.
mood. In this episode, we are going to be talking about emotional bank accounts. I'm looking forward to talking about this with you, Cassandra. It's going to be good fun. We're going to talk about
Mhm.
that in the main episode. But before then, welcome to Sparks Squared Speakeasy, the leadership conversation that you weren't meant to overhear, that is served up just like you're sitting down the pub with a friend, having a good old chat about leadershipy stuff. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Cassandra Sparks, a motivational speaker and boldness coach. Who are you?
And well, thanks for asking. I am Ewan from Figgery, and we make workplace learning work and fun as well. Yay.
Yes, yes, and yes.
So pull up the chair, everybody. This is real, honest talk about leadership in real life. Let's get into it. Cassandra,
Yes,
are you
please.
ready?
Definitely.
Then the speakeasy doors
Definitely.
are officially open. Ta-da! Wonderful. Well, before we get started and we dive into our topic, emotional bank accounts, let's recap on last episode's Courage Challenge. So last week,
Yes.
our leadership challenge to you was to add something to your boldness. So Cassandra, what did you get up to this week? How did you fulfill
Well,
your Courage Challenge?
I most certainly did. Every single day, I'm adding something to my boldness.
Yes, you
The
are.
particular story I'd like to share is boldness plus vulnerability.
Mm.
I was having coffee with a friend and was really honest about some of the hurdles I've been facing lately. And stripped down any masks and was like, I feel like I've been standing in my own way. And so we got to talking about this idea of we all have these gates within us. And a gate can help protect us. It can also prevent us from becoming who we are designed to be, who we are meant to be. And my gate has been closed for quite some time. And just now, relearning how to keep it open, how to be safe, how to, take step into opportunity, how to step into myself fully so I can live my boldest, most authentic life, which is the whole damn point.
I'm so proud of you. That is amazing. And I don't mean that in like a horribly condescending way, but that is something to be proud of somebody else for accepting and like recognizing that and being willing and brave enough to like take those guards down and vocalize it to somebody else. I think that that's a
Thanks.
true sign of friendship, right? When you have the ability to be able to boldly step into your vulnerability with somebody else.
Mhm.
I think that's such a testament to the relationship you obviously have with that friend.
Yes, thank you. I feel fortunate. It was a beautiful conversation, and when you feel supported and heard, it's like a beautiful ripple effect that just
Hmm.
you can then show up that way for other people. And that's what
Yeah.
we need in this world is more empathy and more
More.
kindness.
Yeah, I think that all starts with listening, right? We talk about that a lot in our podcast. Is like,
Absolutely.
how do we as leaders show up with empathy and with a sense of understanding and seeking first to understand, which I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure will come up in this episode. And you will all be pleased to know that at the end of this episode, we are going to pose this week's Courage Challenge. So stick around for that.
Great. So, what are we talking about? You pose this really interesting topic. I'm very excited about it. Let's dive in.
Mm, absolutely. I really, really love this concept. And it's a concept that many of you may have heard in the past being referred to in loads of different ways. But I just think it's something that's always stuck around with me as a leader. And it's this concept of that emotional bank account. And you probably have heard, if you have heard of it, you might have heard of it in various different guises. But the most famous and recognizable one is in Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I just think that that book is a really great book. It's a strong leadership book that I think every leader should read at some point or listen to if you're an audiobook person,
Hmm.
because I think it's full of great reminders for every leader to just absorb and have as part of their psyche, their natural kind of day-to-day life. But this particular concept of emotional bank accounts is something that I think has come up time and time and time again, not just in my professional life at work, but also just as a human being, like walking the face of the earth with other human beings. And
Mm.
having this in my head really as kind of a forethought, like a thought at the front of my mind, whenever I go into an interaction or an engagement or a conversation with somebody, like I'm always trying to think, how am I depositing into this emotional bank account? And just like a bank, we all have a bank account, I'm sure. But even if you keep your millions under your mattress, Cassandra, we still make deposits into that bank account or under that mattress, and we then take withdrawals out. And I just
Hmm.
think that as adults, being able to recognize that life and relationships is all one big balance sheet, where if you take out too much and overdraw, then eventually you get cut off.
Mm.
And the more you put into that bank account and you invest in that bank account, the wealthier you will be. And if we take that into the sort of the reality of human relationships, the same can be said. If we are constantly taking from other people, then the minute that we need them to give something to us proactively, we shouldn't be surprised when they cut us off and say
Mm.
no, which is why
Yes.
deposits into your emotional bank account are so important. That ability to be able to nurture and grow and strengthen relationships through just simple things like respect. listening, being there for
Mhm.
someone in that time of need, being willing to understand and respect their perspective or point of view, even if you don't agree. Like all of this and many more examples of us making deposits into our emotional bank account. So
Mhm.
when the time comes for us to withdraw from that bank account by maybe needing a favor or maybe needing a little bit of support ourselves or maybe needing a little bit of their expertise or their knowledge, the bank account is so healthy between the two of
Mhm.
us from a relationship emotional perspective that they can't help but say, of course, and dot dot dot, what else can I do to make you
Yes.
successful? So that's my understanding of emotional bank account. I'd love to hear your perspective and how you, whether that's subconsciously or consciously, are constantly paying into your emotional bank accounts with the people around you, and how it's affected your ability to withdraw from that bank account every now and again.
Certainly. I think, the story that I told about boldness plus vulnerability was definitely someone depositing into my bank account, and I was able to reciprocate that with them. And I think that's an important component of this idea. When we make a deposit, ideally, there's reciprocity. If it's not immediate, that's okay, but it should be like, you've done something really wonderful and kind for me. I feel seen. You've helped me. I want to do the same for you. Uh,
Hmm.
so, what I think is interesting, though, is it can easily be skewed. And what I mean by that is if someone comes up with these deposits and they're inauthentic about it
Hmm.
and they're like, I'm going to help you, and it comes with all these strings, or they're only doing something to serve themselves. That's
Hmm.
when I think the deposits can get a little bit
Icky.
difficult to, yeah, and difficult to like access. They can
Right.
feel, yeah, they can feel further away. They can feel like, I don't want to touch that. They can
Hmm.
feel like they weren't a smaller deposit, right? The best day is when you make a really big deposit at a bank in your bank account. It's
Hmm.
like whether it's payday, whether it's um, you have a big client that pays an invoice, those are the best days. So
Right.
the larger the investment, essentially, in theory, the better the deposit's going to feel. Asterisks, hopefully that is an authentic experience from someone else. And I think that's more conversational or in how we do business with people and how we talk with people versus like, see, does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. I know. I think it does make sense. I think that what you kind of struck upon is that people are humans, and human beings will um, always naturally, instinctively be resistant to giving a little bit of themselves when they have no motivation or they don't see the value in doing that, right? If you've not given them a reason to give a little bit of themselves to you,
Hmm.
they don't see there being any intrinsic return on investment there, then they're not going to do that. They might do it once just to test the waters, but they're probably unlikely to do it a second time, like once bitten, twice shy and all that. But I do think that what you're saying is so relevant to leadership as well, because the same thing can be said from a leader to a team member, right? Or even peer on peer, or even when we're managing upwards, the emotional bank account is such an important part of that relationship that we have at work with our colleagues and our peers and our leaders, that we need to
Hmm.
recognize the benefits that can come from filling up our emotional bank accounts. And in that relationship, it's not necessarily financial. In that relationship,
Hmm.
it is very much about trust, and it's about
Yes.
respect, and it's about understanding the other person and their
Hmm.
motivations. What
Yes.
is going to be the most valuable thing to this person for me to put
Hmm.
into their bank account? Because I believe, I could be wrong here, push back on me if you think, everybody not everybody wants the same thing put into their bank account. For
That's right.
example, I have many colleagues that I've worked with in my career that if I was to give them a big shout out at the town hall, tell them how great they've been, tell everybody how great they've been, tell them how wonderful a colleague they've been, that to maybe a handful of people would be a huge, valuable investment in their emotional bank
Mhm.
account between me and them. But then to other people, that same gesture, that same spotlight moment at town hall in front of everybody could be a huge withdrawal from the bank account, because to them, that is absolutely not something that fills up the bank account. They find that emotionally draining or embarrassing, or it's not something that they see an intrinsic benefit from doing. I'm saying intrinsic a lot and I don't quite know why. Anyway, I think that a big part of the emotional bank account component is understanding the people that we're having
Mhm.
relationships with.
Mhm.
Trust and goodwill are extremely important because we need trust and goodwill amongst each other in order to both be successful. But in order to build that trust, knowing what is it that's going to fill that bank account up with that person is really important. So
Absolutely. I
knowing
agree with
who's
you 100%. And to your point, it really is an extension of what we were discussing with being authentic about it. And at its root, it's having an awareness of the folks that are in your sphere that you're working with. Because
Mhm,
like you said, if something if you think that a positive compliment is going to help someone in this part of your business world, but it's going to not help them in another part of your business world, having that awareness is key,
mhm.
right? So it's not a
Yeah,
one size fits all model where like, oh, compliment each other and oh, say nice things and be there and support. It looks different for everyone. And having
right.
discovery conversations and being aware of what drives people, what motivates people, what makes them feel safe, seen, and heard, that's, I think, at the
Mhm.
core of this.
Yeah. And again, it all comes back down to communication and listening and
Hmm.
understanding and empathy and knowing that not everybody's the same and that we all have different strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah.
And I think that as a leader and as just a human being, having that self-awareness and that patience to understand is such a hugely valuable part of building a high trust relationship with somebody,
Hmm.
because that high trust relationship that you have with that person then just has so many benefits for them in relating to you, but also for you in connecting with
Yes.
that person and then being successful. Like when we
Yes.
have high trust with somebody, we've got a healthy relationship, a healthy emotional bank account with that individual, then communication comes easier. There's less friction in the
Hmm.
transactions that we have with each other, be it tangible or intangible. Um, Things work smoother. We get things done faster. We get things done more effectively. So I really do place a lot of value on this concept of being intentional and meaningful in the deposits that we put into the
Hmm.
emotional relationship bank accounts that we have with people.
Hmm.
Um, and it applies in so many parts of life as well. Do you know there's a political, he's a very, very Marmite. Do you know what Marmite is? Have you heard of Vegemite? Maybe Vegemite's
Yes.
more
Uh-huh.
universal.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Vegemite. Okay, so so I think Vegemite might be Australian and Marmite is
Yes.
British. It's the British version of
Okay.
it. Okay, so
Yes.
we'll go with Vegemite for our international listeners.
Ah,
Vegemite, we say, oh, it's kind of like Vegemite. You either love it or you hate it. Have you
ah.
ever heard that before? It's like, because it's awful.
Yeah.
Just so you, like, if you ever had it
What's it?
before.
Well, explain what it tastes like.
Well, I think we're going to get comments, but I think it's yeast based paste that people put on like toast or pancakes and stuff. It's an interesting flavor sensation. It's very salty. And that's what I think
Hmm.
people don't like about it. I don't like it. It's too much for me. It's like eating the
Mm.
sea. Anyway, I don't know why. How did I get onto Marmite?
I'm not sure.
Marmite.
Oh, you were
Oh,
talking
I
about.
tell you what, political guy.
Okay, yes.
Goodness, I hope he's not listening.
Okay.
He's not. Um, there's a very Vegemite political figure in the UK called Alistair Campbell, and he was Tony Blair, if you remember him, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He was a Tony Blair's press guy, communications guy, spin doctor. Anyway, like him or loathe him, he has this concept that he talks about being the relationship bank account and how important it is when you're doing diplomacy around the world to be making
Mm,
sure that whether you agree with the person that you are in talks with or negotiations with or whatever it might be, whether you agree with their perspective, their point of view or not, you still have to recognize that they're a human being. And in order for you to be able to gain something for your cause, you have to recognize that they have to trust you in order to give you that thing.
yes.
So you
Yes.
have to pay into that bank account somehow. Now, some politicians, political figures, public figures choose to pay into that bank account in ways that might be seen as a little bit nefarious. Whereas other people choose
Hmm.
to do that just by connecting with them, building human connections like sports or maybe religion or maybe
Yes.
a love of pastries. I don't know,
Huh?
whatever it might be. But finding that
Yes.
mutual point of connection and using that as your inroad to be able to build the bank account over time, it won't happen straight away, can really lead to huge benefits down the road. And I think that when we're
Mm-hmm.
in conflict, which of course Alistair Campbell talks about a lot because he was in politics, but when you're in conflict, even if it's minor conflict in the workplace or in a personal relationship outside of work, you do sort of cloud your judgment and you try to withdraw all funds from the bank account so you can walk away. But really,
Mm-hmm.
what you need to do in those moments is take a moment to take a big, deep breath and think, all right, where is that mutual point of agreement or connection that we can at least use that tiny little bit at the bottom of the barrel, the couple of cents left in the bank account, use that as our opportunity to be able to grow the relationship, to strengthen the trust. Even if we're never going
Mm-hmm.
to agree fully, we want the
Mm-hmm.
bank account to be as healthy as it possibly can be. So in that
Yes.
moment where you do need something, that you're in a position to be able to go and ask for that favor or go and ask for that compromise or for that
Mm-hmm.
that whatever it is you're looking for. I always find that a really interesting perspective because I think the emotional bank account just works on so many levels in
It
all
does.
walks of life.
It does. I have two thoughts. One, similar to Covey's perspective, Dale Carnegie says, talk in terms of the other person's interests, which is exactly what you were just describing. And yeah, so when you do that, you show you care, you become likable and trustworthy. So to your point, there's a lot of value in that. Another way that I see this deposit system working is in romantic relationships. Everyone has ways that they prefer to receive deposits.
Hmm.
Some know them as the love languages,
Hmm. Oh yeah.
right? So some people might like words of affirmation. Some people might prefer acts of service as their deposits. Some people
Yeah.
might prefer physical touch as a deposit. So
Hmm.
this idea of emotional deposits really can take a lot of shape in
Right.
different aspects of life. Given that this is a leadership podcast, we'll keep things relatively PG-13.
Well, I don't. But okay, if you insist, we could
I
do an
know, right?
after hours version of this episode.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Late night speakeasy.
Hey, yes. And I think, when it comes to the love languages, people often have two or three types of deposits that they prefer. So it all comes to kind of take this deposit idea and tie it in a bow. It all comes down to having awareness of who
Hmm.
you're interacting with, what fills their cup,
Yeah.
and then authentically showing up and delivering that for them so that you can count on them in the future. You can develop a strong relationship and trust is built authentically.
Yeah. I
But
love
what
that.
happens, Ewan, when people start to withdraw from our bank? What happens when the emotional vampires come out and start sucking our energy out or deflating us?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I need to get out now.
What happened?
Sorry, I was so sorry. In my head, I was just we were in a place of talking about romantic relationships, and you used the word deposit so many times. I was finding it really difficult to focus. But then, but no, 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 it's great. But then I had a little giggle fit, and I felt like a little child, and I was then thinking, oh my goodness. And then, and now we're talking about sucking it out, and I'm just really struggling with that. But it's okay. I got really hot. I'm going to just fan
Oh,
myself
are
for
you
a
sweating a
second,
little bit?
everybody.
Okay. Okay. Woo!
Okay, it's fine. Okay.
Those,
Deposits. I
yeah.
believe we were talking about deposits from our bank account. Um, okay. Okay.
Do you need a minute?
Nope, we're good. I don't know how I'm going to edit this, but we're good. Okay. I'm such a child. Okay.
It's okay. Do you want me to set that up again?
Yes, definitely. Going to need that for the edit later. Scene. So we were talking about deposits.
Yes, we know what an emotional deposit looks like in our bank account.
Mm,
What happens when someone withdraws from our bank account?
mm.
What does that look like? Let's say an emotional vampire comes out and just starts sucking the energy out and, deflating us and making us feel the opposite of what we were
Right.
trying to accomplish with the deposit. So what do we do then? And what do those withdrawals look like?
Yeah, I think there's so many different ways that you can withdraw from someone's bank account, right? Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
we've all had a relationship where you feel like somebody is just always asking of you constantly, and there's
Mm-hmm.
never any sort of reciprocation on the other side. So
Yeah.
maybe somebody's constantly, let's say, breaking your trust, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe um, you know, those people who just like constantly have got something negative to say,
And
constantly have got like,
yes.
you can never do anything right, or if you are doing something right, you're almost bracing yourself for the negative or for the constructive piece of criticism that's going to inevitably come. And I think that that's a great sign of somebody's emotional relationship bank account not being filled up, because we have to give criticism sometimes, we have to give feedback, we have to give opinions. And if you go in on a very low bank account with that criticism once, you might get away with it, but it's going to drain the bank account that a little bit more. So when you have to come in a second time, there's nothing left in the tank for them to
Mm,
give, right? So
yep.
you're definitely that criticism, that disrespect, that lack of
Mm-hmm.
trust. And then as a leader, it could be down to things like just not being articulate and clear. Like if your
Mm-hmm.
team are constantly having to question or second guess or try to read between the lines because you're not quite being clear enough in your expectations, that could be a great example of something that drains the bank account.
It's true. Absolutely. I was in a situation professionally where there was just constant withdrawals from my bank account.
Mm,
Nothing was ever good enough. I was always walking on eggshells. And not
hmm
just me, the team was walking on eggshells because the leader was ill-equipped to do it. There wasn't a lot of positivity coming from that person.
hmm
It reminds me of the SNL sketch Debbie Downer. Do you know that one where it's like, meow,
Yes.
meow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
Or
exactly who you're
I,
talking about.
yeah, or Rachel Dratch did that beautifully. Or even more recently, what the internet's dubbed as the Karens of the world,
Yeah.
who are just like these difficult people, not necessarily female, but they're labeled as the
Which I feel
Karens.
bad because I have an Auntie Karen and she's the most wonderful human being in the world.
Yes, it can be
Such a
quite
shame.
unfair
I
to
know
the
quite a lot
Karens
of
of the
Karens.
world.
Right.
Yes. Yes. So whether it's a Debbie Downer or a Karen that is drawing all this, and you just show up
Yeah.
to work every day and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get through today because I'm
Hmm.
already running on empty. My bank account is wiped clean. I'm running on fumes. There's been no positive deposits from my leader, only negative withdrawals. And that absolutely affects performance.
You are absolutely right. That workplace experience of like having that person in the office, it just drains.
Mhm.
It just like, in reality, if you're that person, like, do you not realize how difficult your life has been made by your way of showing up, by your way of addressing other people, by your way of interacting with other human beings? Life is just, it must just be exhausting. Do you ever,
Yes.
on so many occasions during the week, I will be in a public space, normally a supermarket, where you're walking past people, and I just think, listen, I know I am abnormally optimistic. I know that I don't know where I got it from, but there you go. Sorry, mum and dad. But I don't know where I got it from. I quite happily bounce around, and no matter who walks past me, I'll say hello and I'll wave. Maybe it's like
Uh-huh.
the Scottish small town vibe thing that gets me. But anyway,
Mhm.
and I don't expect that of everybody. But at the very least, I expect eye contact. And when eye contact is met, like a small, not doesn't need to be a full beaming grin, like
Mm.
ha 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 ha. Just
Yes.
like a lift of
Like a
the outside of the
yeah.
lips, just like a little, like
Mhm.
that's it. That's all I'm looking for. And for those that are just
An
listening and
eyebrow
not watching,
raise, yeah.
like yeah, just like a something. Like I see you, other human being.
Yes. That's
I've had a
right.
really, really insert expletive here day, and I don't
Huh?
want to laugh and smile and connect with you. That's
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But if I've
Mhm.
made eye contact with you and I smile and say, good morning, the
Mhm.
bare minimum in that situation is that you go,
Yep.
like, little nod of the head, little hand up, or
Yeah.
just even just a little head bob, just a little head bob.
Yes.
Anyway, and I find that like, I think there's like, we all have like our individual bank accounts, right? But then I think we also have like our world bank account, like societal
Mm.
bank account that
I like that.
over time, like the world around us gives and takes. And sometimes we see these
Mhm.
moments of sheer joy. Like the other
Yes.
day, I know many people know this about me and many don't, but I'm a wedding officiant, professional wedding officiant. I do lots of weddings. And
Yes.
I was standing in Forsyth Park in Savannah, Georgia,
Oh,
standing about to
gorgeous.
do a big wedding at the Forsyth Park water fountain. It was beautiful. There was
Beautiful.
probably about 100 guests. They had the violinist playing. There was a champagne bar. It was
Iconic. Ooh.
so, it was gorgeous.
Yes.
Brandy and Jonathan, shout out. It was a beautiful wedding.
Hey.
And I'm standing at the back with the wedding planner, and there was an artist who was doing doing a live painting of all the guests and stuff. It was really cute. So we're all
Oh.
talking, we're all sitting chilling. We're waiting for the bride, her prerogative to be late.
Mhm.
And we turned around and we all just kind of clocked out the corner of our eye that there was a guy on his knees at the other side of the park. And he was proposing to his girlfriend in front of the fountain. And he couldn't get to the fountain because we were all there because it was all closed off for the wedding. So
Uh-huh.
there's those moments of societal just,
Yes.
humanity is all right. When
Yes.
the wedding planner took her phone out, saw what was happening, took her phone out, filmed it, wrote her number down on a post-it note and got her assistant to run across after it had all happened and said, come over, get some pictures taken in front of the fountain. The bride won't be here for a while. Got photos taken and then handed her number over and said, text me and I'll send you the video of your engagement. I filmed the whole
Oh,
thing. And it was just the most wonderful moment. She didn't need to do that. We could have,
yes.
as all of us did, we all just stood there and just watched it with just joy on our faces that we were
Mhm.
witnessing it.
Mhm.
But those moments are like those moments that society just fills up my cup, like fills the bank
I
account.
agree.
But then there are the moments in the supermarket where someone like pushes past you with their car because they've
Mhm.
had a bad day. And I get that. People are allowed bad
Yeah.
days, but just recognize that every interaction, be it big or small, is an opportunity for us to fill up a bank account. Just a little bit.
True. It's true. I couldn't agree more.
Now, here's the deal, Cassandra.
Hmm.
This has been quite the Sparks Squared Speakeasy waffle chat. So I think it's time that we wrap it up because we have done a good amount of waffling, and people have things to do. And we could do this for hours. What I think a lot of our audience don't realize is that me and Cassandra meet up about 30 minutes before this and we just chat for 30 minutes. So by the time we're finished with you, we're like, this has been great. We spent like 90
Hmm.
minutes with each other, just chit
Hmm.
chatting.
And it's
Um,
never enough time.
it's never enough time to
No,
spend with you. So let's
no,
do that. Let's wrap things up, shall we? Would you like to
absolutely.
give us a courage challenge for this week?
I most certainly would. In the
Wonderful.
next week, let's all recognize at least one instance where we deposit into someone's emotional bank account and recognize and acknowledge a time that we might have withdrawn from someone's bank account, whether intentionally or not, because it all comes back to awareness at the core.
Absolutely. 100%. I love the challenge. I think it's something that I try to actively practice every day of my
Yes,
life and every interaction I have, but it's a good reminder. So definitely that self-awareness is so important. Thank you for sharing that.
yes,
Well, let's wrap things up before we close the speakeasy doors. Do you want to let people know,
yes,
Cassandra, how they can find you between now and our next episode?
absolutely. Absolutely. When you're ready to see your social media feeds spark, head on over to at Cassandra Sparks YOU, and there I'll be.
That. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And if you would like to connect with me, then please do so. Ewan Riccio-Laing, which is spelled EWANRICCIOLAING, or follow us at Figure Learning, where we are always posting out exciting and fun content. And
Mhm.
obviously, if you want a little bit more Cassandra Sparks and you and Riccio-Laing in your life, then you can absolutely get in touch with us because we have a wonderful fun shop called Own the Room, Tell Your Story. And it is
Mhm.
all geared towards giving you the skills and the confidence that you need to be able to present, to share your story, and to be able to really dazzle on whatever stage or none you happen to be on.
That's right.
Thank you so much for this chat, Cassandra. It's been wonderful.
Mm.
I am excited to share it with the world. Have a fantastic week. I think at this point, we have to say the speakeasy doors are closed, but we will see you next week. Same spark, same
But
speakeasy.
seems speakeasy.
Same speakeasy,
Farewell.
different spark. This is what happens when you don't
Same
have a
sparks.
script.
Same spark, same speakeasy.
Great.
You're
Oh,
right.
so was I right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. This can be the intro. Have a great night.